In line with our strategic initiatives and in order to optimize our structure for performance, I'm pleased to announce the promotion of Dustin Sjuts from Chief Commercial Officer to President of Revance. This change allows me to streamline my reports as I assume direct and personal oversight for all aspects of our BLA for daxibotulinumtoxinA for injection. Further, this change positions the organization to better align resources, facilitate capital allocation efforts, and enhance performance. Dustin's promotion to President reflects his strong performance and the confidence we have in his leadership. He was instrumental in developing Revance's commercial strategy, integrating HintMD, building an exceptional team, and successfully commercializing our aesthetics portfolio. His experience and background will continue to be invaluable to our organization. With that, let me turn the call over to Dustin, who will cover our performance for the quarter. Dustin?
Thank you, Mark. First, let me say by saying I'm honored to serve as President of Revance. Echo Mark's comments. We've come a long way over the past 2 years in laying the foundation for growth, and none of that would have been possible without our team. In my years overseeing commercial operations and interfacing with the departments across the organization, I continue to believe that we have the right vision, strategy, and people in place to realize our potential across both aesthetics and therapeutics. The market demand for a long-lasting neuromodulator remains robust, and this is supported by recent clinical programs initiated by our peers to attempt to show extended duration with higher doses of their existing neuromodulator formulations. Our formulation is new and uniquely different from what's available on the market today. It's the only neuromodulator product with a proprietary peptide formulation with clinical data demonstrating a long-duration profile in addition to safety and efficacy. In our Sakura studies, a 40-unit dose of daxibotulinumtoxinA for injection showed a median duration of effect of 6 months and up to 9 months for certain patients. Further, our strong clinical data for aesthetic indications in glabellar lines, forehead lines, lateral canthal lines, and upper facial lines, as well as therapeutic indications in cervical dystonia and upper limb spasticity, have all consistently demonstrated a long-duration profile. For these reasons, we believe daxibotulinumtoxinA for injection is the most differentiated potential neuromodulator formulation to date. Turning to our results, total RHA revenue for the third quarter was $18.3 million, a 7.4% increase over Q2 despite a slower period. Growth was driven by higher sales from existing accounts as well as the addition of new accounts. During the quarter, we added over 500 accounts across RHA and our FinTech platform, bringing our total aesthetic accounts to over 2,500. Looking ahead and given the continued strength in the overall market, we expect a seasonally strong Q4 heading into the holiday season. Since its commercial launch 1 year ago, the RHA Collection is proving to be a valuable and differentiated product line. It's the most natural and least modified hyaluronic acid dermal filler on the market today, and we're pleased with the traction we have built thus far. Our commercial team is focused on expanding the prestige customer base for RHA, which in turn will serve directly as the commercial foundation for daxibotulinumtoxinA for injection once approved. We believe that we can realize significant cross-selling opportunities and operating leverage with our aesthetic franchise over time. Opal, the first relational commerce platform for the aesthetics vertical, adds another exciting piece to our portfolio. We have long believed that the best way to retain and attract customers is to be their true partner, to help them build a better practice and stronger consumer loyalty. It pushed us to develop a FinTech platform that can not only complement our product offering, but also support practice growth. Opal leverages data from its transactions to help owners build a better relationship with their customers. It's a first-of-its-kind technology platform that we believe has the ability to transform patient and physician experiences. In addition to helping us create deep and lasting customer relationships, Opal provides us with the opportunity to participate in the $68 billion U.S. aesthetics payment processing market. And now, as a registered PayFac, the platform can capture more of the credit card processing value chain. Over time, we believe this can represent a substantial revenue opportunity north of $500 million. During the third quarter, we maintained a payment processing volume run rate of over $500 million despite a traditionally slower season. Looking ahead, we believe Opal has a significant runway for growth. We'll be very focused on account penetration, building new features, and completing customer migrations from HintMD to Opal. Turning to therapeutics, I'd like to share the positive top-line results from our Phase 3 Aspen OLS study for cervical dystonia. As a reminder, our phase 3 program consisted of 2 trials. The ASPEN-1 and the ASPEN-OLS were open-label safety studies. ASPEN-1 was a pivotal study evaluating the efficacy of daxibotulinumtoxinA for injection for the treatment of cervical dystonia and was successfully completed in October of 2020. ASPEN-OLS was an open-label, multi-center trial to evaluate the long-term safety of repeat treatment of daxibotulinumtoxinA for injections in adults with cervical dystonia. The study enrolled a total of 357 subjects, of which approximately 90% rolled over from the ASPEN-1 study. Subjects could receive up to 4 treatments over a 52-week period, and the doses evaluated included 125, 200, 250, and 300 units. We are pleased to report that the study demonstrated daxibotulinumtoxinA for injection was found to be generally safe and well tolerated, as well as effective across all doses with repeat treatment. The most common treatment-related adverse events on a per-treatment basis were muscular weakness at 4.9%, dysphagia at 4.2%, and injection site pain at 2.7%. There were no serious treatment-related adverse events or dose-dependent increases in adverse events. We are pleased to see that the efficacy data in the ASPEN-OLS is consistent with the efficacy results and duration profile observed in the ASPEN-1 study. In the ASPEN-OLS study, the median duration of effect, as defined by the time to reach target twister score, ranged from 19.9 weeks to 26 weeks across doses within the evaluable treatment cycles. Comparatively, the median duration of effect observed in the ASPEN-1 study was 20 to 24 weeks for 250 units and 125 units. Given the safety, efficacy, and long duration profile, we continue to believe that the daxibotulinumtoxinA for injection can be a promising new treatment option for adults with this condition. In particular, we believe that compelling dose-ranging data from the study can help physicians optimize treatment plans for patients, especially since the dosing strategy and treatment of effect can vary with each patient. ASPEN-3 clinical program is our second successfully completed phase 3 program for daxibotulinumtoxinA for injection across 2 different treatment categories. We'll assess the best way to advance our opportunity in cervical dystonia and upper limb spasticity following clarity from the FDA on the approval path of our BLA for glabellar lines. With that, I'll turn the call over to Toby to cover our third quarter financials.
Thanks, Dustin. Total revenue was $19.7 million for the third quarter, which included $18.3 million from our RHA Collection, $1.1 million from our partnership with Viatris on the biosimilar to Botox, and $0.3 million from our FinTech platform. Turning to our operating expenses. Selling, general, and administrative expenses for the third quarter were $52.8 million. This primarily included sales and marketing expenses related to RHA and pre-commercial activities for daxibotulinumtoxinA for injection. SG&A expenses included depreciation, amortization, and stock-based compensation. Excluding these expenses, non-GAAP SG&A expenses were $45.1 million. Research and development expenses were $30.1 million for the third quarter, reflecting costs related to clinical trials, regulatory support for our ongoing BLA, pre-commercial manufacturing and quality activities, and FinTech platform development. R&D expenses included depreciation and amortization and stock-based compensation. Excluding these expenses, non-GAAP R&D expenses were $25.7 million. Cash equivalents, and short-term investments as of September 30, 2021 were $273.7 million. Revance's shares of common stock outstanding as of October 28, 2021 were approximately 71.8 million, with 76.8 million fully diluted shares, excluding the impact of convertible debt. Now I'd like to review our capital allocation priorities and the prudent measures we are taking to extend our cash runway. As Mark and Dustin mentioned, our investments at this time are focused on obtaining FDA approval for daxibotulinumtoxinA for injection, driving greater adoption of RHA, and expanding and deepening our customer relationships through OPUL. We believe this will maintain our strong commercial momentum and enhance our financial flexibility. The proactive steps we are taking to preserve cash include, but are not limited to, pausing non-critical hires, deferring a phase 3 clinical program for upper limb spasticity, as well as other therapeutic pipeline activities, and pausing international regulatory and commercial investments for daxibotulinumtoxinA for injection, with the exception of our collaboration with Fosun in China. Due to the CRL we received from the FDA, we are withdrawing our previously stated cash guidance of cash into 2024, which assumed FDA approval of daxibotulinumtoxinA for injection in 2021. Following our Type A meeting with the agency, and upon gaining clarity on our approval pathway, we plan to provide an updated cash guidance and our 2022 GAAP and non-GAAP operating expense guidance. I'd like to emphasize that while our measures to preserve cash are important, we also expect them to be temporary. We remain committed to building our business long term, and particularly our therapeutics franchise, given the strong clinical data we have accumulated, underscoring the differentiated performance profile of daxibotulinumtoxinA for injection. With that, I'll turn the call back over to Mark.
Thank you, Toby. In closing, we executed on our commercial strategy and delivered a strong Q3 in our base business despite the impact of seasonality. We're also very pleased to advance our therapeutics potential in treating cervical dystonia with the completion of our phase 3 ASPEN clinical program, representing a market opportunity north of $300 million in the U.S. In the near term, obtaining FDA approval is our top priority. As we speak, we are preparing our briefing book for the Type A meeting request, and will provide an update once we have confirmation on our path forward. With that, I will now open the call up for questions. Operator?
Thank you. And as a reminder, to ask a question, you will need to press star 1 on your telephone. Again, that is star 1. And our first question is from Ken Cacciatore of Cowen and Company. Your line is open.
Hey, Mark and team. Question around the CRL. I know when you received it, there was a little bit of lack of clarity into all the different things that were being asked for. I know you now indicated you have the established inspection report. So wondering if that provided you any more clarity. Does it provide any more comfort or discomfort after you've now seen that? And then secondly, can you just talk about the folks that you've been working with both internally and externally, consulting with you that have expertise here? Have you changed that at all? Are there folks you've brought in, or is it the same folks and you feel fairly comfortable with who's helping you navigate through the process? Thanks so much.
Thanks, Ken. So first on the CRL, as we mentioned at the time that we received the CRL, there was no clarity exactly on which of our responses to the